Georgia, a land of breathtaking beauty, tucked between the towering peaks of the Caucasus Mountains and the restless waves of the Black Sea. Often called a paradise on earth, it's a place of ancient fortresses, irresistible food, lively coastlines, and some of the warmest, kindest people you'll ever meet. Bordered by Russia to the north and Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Turkey to the south, Georgia sits right at the heart of the Caucasus, a true crossroads of civilizations for thousands of years. Covering about 69,700 square kilometers, it's home to around 4 million people. The capital, Tbilisi, and the native language is Georgian, or as locals call it, Sakartvelo. The story of Georgia goes way back to ancient kingdoms like Iberia and Colchis. Over centuries, they faced the Romans, Persians, Arabs, Ottomans, even the Soviets. But no matter how strong the empire, the Georgian people held on to their identity. Their traditions and culture not only survived, but thrived. In fact, UNESCO even recognized the Georgian language as a world treasure, something truly worth protecting. But here's the big question. Is Georgia a place where you can actually build a fulfilling life? And what will the standard of living look like in 2025? Let's find out together. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit subscribe and give this video a like. I create all this content independently, and your support really keeps me going. So, thank you. Now, let's get started. If you're thinking about moving to Georgia, one tip: learn at least a little Georgian or Russian. A lot of older taxi drivers or people working in government offices don't speak much English. Hospitals and official paperwork? Same thing. Georgian or Russian will help you so much. But hey, don't stress. In city centers like Tbilisi, Batumi, and Kutaisi, English is everywhere, especially with younger people. And if you're just coming for a short trip, you'll be totally fine. Street signs are usually written in English too, so even without Google Maps, it's hard to get lost. Georgians themselves are quite distinctive. Men are often recognized for their sharp features, strong cheekbones, defined jawlines, and most famously, their prominent noses. Interestingly, this trait is also common among people from Turkey's Black Sea region, which makes sense, since the two areas have shared centuries of history and cultural ties. In fact, the Laz people, once part of the ancient Lazica kingdom, acted as a cultural bridge between Artvin and Batumi. Today, Georgia is also home to over 300,000 Russians and Ukrainians who arrived as a result of the war that began in 2022. Not everyone is thrilled about this sudden influx, and if you head to Tbilisi's Freedom Square, you'll often see anti-Russian demonstrations. But let's be clear, Georgians are not unfriendly to foreigners, quite the opposite. They are famously warm and welcoming, especially to those who bring investment, culture, or tourism. Social media sometimes paints a different picture, but to call Georgians racist would simply be unfair. In reality, their hospitality is legendary. Walk down almost any street, and you'll be met with a smile, maybe even a helping hand from a stranger. If you visit in the summer, you'll feel this warmth everywhere. In Tbilisi's main squares, young people often gather to perform traditional Caucasian dances. And these aren't just shows for tourists, they're powerful, living expressions of history, pride, and unity. The energy is so real, it feels less like entertainment and more like a heartbeat of the nation. And it's not just Georgians you'll meet here. You'll also find communities from India, Bangladesh, and the Philippines. Many aren't just visiting, they're students or workers who've chosen Georgia for its opportunities and affordability compared to neighboring countries. Now, let's talk money. The national currency is the lari, GEL for short. Right now, $1 equals about 3 lari. Georgia doesn't actually have an official minimum wage, so most people are paid by contract or by the hour. On average, salaries range between 2,000 and 3,000 lari per month. That's around $750 to $900. Sure, it sounds low compared to European standards, but in Georgia, it goes much further. Thanks to the country's rich agricultural base, fresh fruits and vegetables are not only plentiful, but also delicious and affordable. And as you wander through Tbilisi, you'll notice something interesting. The streets are filled with German-made Mercedes, plenty of Toyotas, and even the occasional luxury Lexus. Both left-hand and right-hand drive cars are legal here. Still, left-hand drive is more common, since most right-hand drive cars are older imports. Speaking of cars, let me give you a little taxi tip. Most taxis in Georgia are white, and here's the catch: they usually don't have meters. That means you should always agree on the price before the ride. The easiest way: just show the driver your destination on your phone so there's no confusion. For short city rides, expect to pay around 20 lari, that's about €6. And for longer trips, like getting to the airport, it's usually around 40 lari, or about €15. Georgia's economy leans heavily on tourism, and, interestingly enough, on gambling taxes too. With low rates compared to other countries, cities like Batumi and Tbilisi are dotted with casinos. To give you an idea, gamblers elsewhere might pay up to 30% in taxes, but in Georgia, it's closer to just 10 to 15%. That difference attracts a steady stream of foreign money. Now, let's talk about Tbilisi, a city full of charm and surprises, both on land and along the water. One of its most famous landmarks is the Peace Bridge, stretching gracefully over the Kura River. Its striking design, paired with lively vendors and street musicians, makes it an instant eye-catcher. For about 25 lari, you can take a boat ride and see the city from the river. Or, for just 1 lari, hop on a cable car and take in the breathtaking views of Tbilisi from above. Another must-see, the Angel Clock. Built in 2010 by a local puppet master, this quirky tower comes to life every hour when the bells ring and a tiny angel appears. It's whimsical, a little magical, and one of Tbilisi's most enchanting symbols. As you walk through the city's streets, you'll notice an eclectic mix of architecture, from old Soviet-style blocks to charming cobblestone alleyways. Cafes spill out onto the sidewalks, full of people smoking, chatting, reading, or just soaking in the atmosphere. By evening, those same cafes transform into buzzing social hubs filled with music, laughter, and life. But trust me, the real party doesn't start until after midnight. Tbilisi's nightlife is unlike anywhere else. The streets themselves seem alive, with music, fashion, and energy flowing everywhere. Whether you're inside a club or just wandering through the city centre, you'll feel the heartbeat of a capital that truly never sleeps. Still, alongside all that vibrancy, there's another reality. In many markets and on city streets, you'll see older people, often over 50, still working hard to make a living. It's a quiet reminder that retirement can be tough here. And just like in many growing cities, the cost of living in Tbilisi has been climbing. Renting an average apartment now costs around $700 a month, pretty steep compared to local incomes. The main reason: immigration. In recent years, many Russians and Ukrainians have settled in Georgia, which pushed demand higher and drove up prices. At the same time, this cultural mix has also added something new to the city's character. The Slavic influence shows up everywhere. In the fashion, in the energy of the nightlife, even in the way people carry themselves. Tbilisi feels like a living cultural mosaic, shaped both by its deep past and its newest residents. On the practical side, owning a car here is surprisingly doable. Used cars are common, but even a brand new, fairly luxurious model can be bought for around $20,000. And fuel, much cheaper than in most of Europe, which makes driving not only affordable but convenient too. In the end, Tbilisi is a city of contrasts, vibrant yet challenging, traditional but also modern, full of struggles yet bursting with joy. And through it all, Georgians keep smiling, welcoming, and sharing their culture with anyone who steps into their world. Georgia isn't just a country to visit, it's one to truly experience. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and give it a like. Your support really means the world to me. See you in the next one.